I went outside and I was walking my husky and I saw this skunk that got ran over. And so I walked my husky. I came back and I put it in our trash can because it was passed away. So as I was picking it up with a shovel, I felt like I felt sad because that was a skunk's mom, dad, or sibling. It was a part of a family. They lost their family member. So I'm gonna read the Bible. Um, please join in and let's get let's read this. The Four Kings. When Amphrael, king of Shinar, Arioch, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of Goyim, made war on Bera, king of Sodom, Birsha, king of Gomorrah, Shinab, king of Admah, Shemeber, king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is Zeror. All the latter kings joined forces in the valley of Siddim, that is, the Salt Sea. For 12 years they had served Chedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year Chedorlaomer and the kings allied with him came and defeated the Rephaim in Ashtaroth, Car- Karnaim, the Zuzim, and Ham, the Emim, and Shevel, Kiriathim, and the Horites, in the hill country of Seir, as far as El Paran, close by the wilderness. They then turned back and came to En Mishphet, that is, Kadesh. And he subdued the whole country of both the Amalekites and Amorites, who lived in Hazazon, Tamar. Thereupon the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admah, the king of Zeboim, and the king of Bela, that is, Zerar, marched out. And in the valley of Siddim they went into battle against them, against Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, Tidal king of Goyim. Raphael, king of Shinar, and Arioch, king of Elasar. 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of bitumen pits, and as the king of Sodom and the king of Gomorrah fled, they fell into these, while the rest fled to the mountains. The victors seized all the possessions. and food supplies of Sodom and Gomorrah, and then went their way. They took with them Abram's nephew Lot, who had been living in Sodom, as well as his possessions, and departed. A survivor came and brought the news to Abram, the Hebrew, who was camping at the oak of Mamre. The Amorite, a kinsman of Eskel, and Anartes were allies of Abram. When they when Abram heard that his kinsman had been captured, he mustered 318 of his retainers, born in his house, and went in pursuit as far as Dan. He and his servants deployed against them at night, defeated them, and pursued them as far as Hobah, which is north of Damascus. He recovered all the possessions. He also recovered his kinsman Lot and his possessions, along with the woman and the other people. When Abram returned from his defeat of Chedorlaomer and the kings who were allied with him, the king of Sodom went out to greet him in the valley of Shaveh, that is the king's valley. Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. He was a priest of God Most High. He blessed Abram with these words: Blessed be Abram by God Most High, the Creator of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who delivered your foes into your hand. Then Abram gave him a tenth of everything. The king of Sodom said to Abram, Give me the captives, the goods you may keep. But Abram replied to the king of Sodom, I have sworn to the Lord God Most High, the Creator of heaven and earth, that I would not take so much as a thread or a sandal strap from anything that is yours, so that you cannot say, I made Abram rich. Nothing for me except what my servants have consumed, and the share that is due to the men who went with me, Aner, Eskel, and Mamre. Let them take their share. The covenant with Abram. Sometime afterward, the word of the Lord came to Abram in a vision. Do not fear, Abram. I am your shield. I will make your reward very great. But Abram said, Lord God, what can you give me if I die childless and have only a servant of my household, Eleazar of Damascus? Abram continued, Look, you have given me no offspring, so a servant of my household will be my hire. Then the word of the Lord came to him. No, that one will not be your hire. Your own offspring will be your hire. He took him outside and said, "Look up at the sky and count the stars if you can." Just so, he added, will your descendants be. Abram put his faith in the Lord, who attributed it to him as an act of righteousness. He then said to him, I am the Lord who brought you from Ur of the Chaldeans to give you this land as a possession. Lord God, he asked, how will I know that I will possess it? He answered him, bring me a 3-year-old heifer, a 3-year-old female goat, a 3-year-old ram, a turtle dove, a young pigeon. He brought him all these, split them in two, and placed each half opposite the other. But the birds he did not cut up. Birds of prey swooped down on the carcasses. But Abram scared them away, as the sun was about to set. A deep sleep fell upon Abram, and a great dark dread descended upon him. Then the Lord said to Abram, know for certain that your descendants will reside as aliens in a land not their own, where they shall be enslaved and oppressed for 400 years. But I will bring judgment on the nation they must serve, and after this they will go out with great wealth. You, however, will go to your ancestors in peace. You will be buried at a ripe old age. Oh. In the fourth generation, your descendants will return here, for the wickedness of the Amorites is not yet complete. When the sun had set and it was dark, there appeared a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch, which passed between those pieces. On that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, to your descendants, I give this the land from the Wadi of Egypt to the great river of the Euphrates, the land of the Kenites, the Kenizzites, the Cadmonites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Rephaim, the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Girgashites, and the Jebusites.